When we think of serotonin, we usually call it the happy chemical, right? But the story of how your body actually makes it, well, it's not just about brain chemistry. It's this incredible ancient tale of planetary crisis and repurposed survival tools that stretches back billions of years. So let's dive in and uncover the deep evolutionary history that's happening inside your head right now.
So, let me ask you a question. What could possibly connect your mood, your sleep cycle, and even some of the most powerful hallucinogens on the planet? I know. It sounds totally random, doesn't it? But believe it or not, they all share a secret chemical origin.
And here is the wild part. All of these molecules, serotonin, melatonin, DMT, psilocybin, even auxin, which is a growth hormone in plants, they are all part of the exact same chemical family. Every single one is built from the same starting ingredient, an amino acid called tryptophan. Okay, so if they all come from the same starting block, how does your body decide to make serotonin specifically? Well, the recipe, as it turns out, is actually surprisingly simple. It really just comes down to two key steps.
It's a two-step process, and it's driven by a pair of biological tools called enzymes. So first, an enzyme, we can just call it the oxygen adder, it grabs the tryptophan and slaps an oxygen atom onto it. Then, a second enzyme swoops in, makes one final little tweak, and that completes the transformation. And just like that, you've got serotonin.
But honestly, the how isn't the real story here. The truly mind-blowing part is where these two tools, these enzymes, actually came from. Their history takes us on a journey back not just thousands, or even millions, but billions of years, all the way to the dawn of life on Earth.
Let's start with that first tool, the enzyme that adds oxygen. You see, its origin story has absolutely nothing to do with making brain chemicals. Nope, it's a story about a planetary crisis and pure survival. So, picture this. Billions of years ago, life on Earth didn't need oxygen. In fact, oxygen was poisonous to it. But then, these tiny little organisms figured out photosynthesis, and they started pumping out oxygen as a waste product. For all the other life on the planet, this was a complete catastrophe. This great oxidation event created a toxic atmosphere that they had to adapt to or die. So early life had this massive problem. How do we deal with all this dangerous new oxygen? The solution was an enzyme that could act as a kind of safety tool. It didn't evolve to make us feel good, it evolved to grab that toxic oxygen and safely stick it onto other molecules, basically making it harmless. It was, in a very real sense, a planetary defense system. Okay, now for the second enzyme in our recipe. And if you thought the first one was ancient, well, this tool is even older. Its story takes us back to a time before that whole oxygen crisis even began. The second enzyme, decarboxylase. It's one of the most primitive biological tools we know of. It's practically a living fossil. Ancient life was already using it for basic metabolism long before oxygen was even a thing. In fact, its little helper molecule might be one of the very, very first catalysts of life itself. This tool is a true relic from the absolute dawn of biology. So, you see, making serotonin in your brain isn't some sleek, modern process designed from scratch. It's a biological hack. Evolution just took two ancient, totally unrelated tools, one designed for detox, the other for basic metabolism, and just cobbled them together to build something completely new. And this story of repurposing isn't just some fun fact. It really reveals a profound connection that we have with the entire living world. Because this ancient history, it's literally written in the DNA of almost every organism on this planet. Just think about this for a second. The basic machinery needed to build serotonin isn't just in animals like us. The precursors for these enzymes, they're found across 4 major kingdoms of life. Bacteria have them, fungi like yeast have them, plants have them, and of course, we have them. It's this shared biological heritage stretching back billions and billions of years. Let this really sink in. The very enzymes that are right now, this very second, helping to regulate your thoughts and your feelings. They are ancient relics. They first evolved to solve survival problems for single-celled organisms that were just floating around in a primordial sea. Your mental state is directly connected to a planetary crisis from over 2 billion years ago. So when you put all of this together, the conclusion is just incredible. Serotonin, a molecule that is so central to our modern minds, is assembled using a toolkit borrowed from the very dawn of life. It's the ultimate proof of evolution's incredible power to tinker, to build today's complexity out of these ancient, repurposed parts. And that just leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If the chemistry that governs our own moods is built upon this ancient machinery that we share with plants and bacteria and fungi, what does that really say about our place in the web of life? It suggests that the line separating us from the rest of the natural world is much, much blurrier than we might ever have imagined.